Welcome back, everybody. Well, today I was hoping to be laying out the house, but as you can see, it rained again. That's been the story of our life here the last couple months. We definitely have had plenty of rain, but it's a mud hole, so I'm not going to get out of here and fight in this mud today. But I did come out here the other night and did get the four corners of the house here laid out and got it squared up. But I got a breezeway and then a garage back here to get laid out. So it'll dry up eventually and we'll get in here and get going on the house, but I'll report back on that. I've been looking for a spreader for a while to go on the back of this buggy, but I've decided instead of putting it on this buggy to put it on the lawnmower. The one that I've bought has an electronic speed control, but to control the gate, it's back here on the spreader, so I'd have a long distance from there back to here to control that gate. So that's the reason I'm gonna go and put it on this lawnmower. That way I'll have it here closer to the seat. Still have to reach over and control it, but I'm gonna try to rig something up to go on the back of this lawnmower, and that way it'll be a little more versatile and I can get in tighter places a little bit easier. Now, I have scoured the internet and YouTube trying to figure out what's the best spreader to buy. There's tons of options out there, but I'm not going to use this from a commercial application. It'll be used a couple times a year to spread fertilizer over the yard. Where I just sowed the yard last year, I've got to go back and overseed. So I wanted something that was fairly cost effective, but I wanted something that would hopefully do the job. So this one has an electronic speed control, so you can control the width of your spread. It says it'll spread 5 to 45 feet, and but it's a Femco ATV dry material spreader, and there's the number on it. But you still have to operate the gate on it manually, so that's the reason I want it close to the seat. So I'm gonna load the lawnmower up. We're gonna go out to my dad's and see if I can manufacture some kind of mount to mount up the back of this lawnmower. These spreaders come with brackets that'll basically hook to an ATV, and then you can get the adapter that'll go down to a 3-point hitch if you've got it. But in this case, I'm gonna come up with a little something different. If you buy one of these, this is what comes in the box. Obviously, we got our spreader, instructions, owner's manual. Then here's the mounting brackets that come with it. These would lay on the back of an ATV that you could mount down, or I guess in one of these utility vehicles, slide up in the bed and you could bolt it down. Two of them. You got your electrical speed control box, and then your wiring harness, and then you've got some U-bolts and some stuff to screw it all together. I'll show you what my sweet little angel there decided to do. I think it's him. I think he's the guilty party anyway. We're having to keep this out here in this open shed, so dogs decided to make him a seat here on the lawnmower. Decided to chew the old armrest up. I'm about ready to hang me some dogs. Yeah, it was you. Alright, here's the way these brackets are intended to go in here. And then you would mount this, if we're looking at it this way, this would be upright and this would lay flat on the bed or whatever, the back of your four-wheeler or buggy, whatever it may be. But I'm going to mount it on the back of this lawnmower, so I was going to have to build some kind of bracket to where it would either slip down on it or bolt up back here in the back. But my dad and I was out here working, and we've come up with another option. We're going to actually turn this bracket over and actually mount this thing upright. That way it could mount to the lawnmower, and then it's going to hold me up above my back plate here, my bumper, get me some height to where if I want to leave it on there, I won't be in danger of, running in the ground with it hanging down here too low. So we're going to drill the brackets out here and see if we can get it mounted. nothing like a sharp drill bit. Well, it's a lot later than when I started this morning, but life happens and there was plenty to do today. So I'm finishing up late tonight, but I want to get it done and get it behind me. So it turned out pretty good. I'm pretty pleased with it. When I initially started this morning, I went out to my dad's thinking I was going to have to weld up some brackets to be able to mount it, but I was able to take the brackets that they provided. They're basically set up to go horizontal, and I was able to drill a couple holes and realign their brackets and basically just run them vertically. And so I'm tying it in. This Cub Cadet's got a 1/2-inch piece of steel back here, so I was able to get their U-bolts and get everything tied in, so I don't think it's going to give way to anything I put in it. Well, the way those vertical posts worked out, it's got me up here at a good height where everything clears back here on the back side. I can get to my air cleaner or air filter. It's not obstructing anything, so I just plan on leaving it on there. And then the back, I mean, I might lose 12 inches back here, but I've probably got almost 3 foot of ground clearance here on the back, so I don't think I'm gonna have to worry about anything. But if I did want to take it off, basically I've got one electrical connection right here, and then I could take 2 bolts out on each side and it would pick right off and I'd be cleared on the back. Now this is the electrical box that goes with it. It's basically your on off switch, and then this controls the speed of your blade back there. But I went ahead and mounted it permanently to the roll bar here, but I can let my roll bar back down to lay on top of that. Nothing gets in the way, so I just went ahead and fixed it. If I want to take it off, basically I can take these 2 wing nuts off and I'm good to go there. All right, if you're wanting to install one of these, I'll give you just a brief rundown, but you've got 2 sets of wiring harnesses that'll come with it. Mine had a blue and an orange, in which it comes in, and there's a pigtail here that it ties into the spreader. And so what I've done is went ahead and I just put that wire wrap over it, and I was able to stay close to the frame. But this wiring harness comes with, it's probably 10, 12 foot of wire there. So for the time being, I just got it rolled up here and just got it zip tied to the frame. Then I come up, it pigtails into your control box. And then you've got a black and red wire that comes out. It pigtails in. And so I was able to take it down, my wires that are already here, and then take it down and tie it into the battery. Now I bought this one at Harbor Freight, in which I don't think this is any fault of Harbor Freight, but I was missing one of these bolts. It's a carriage bolt that comes through here, so I had to go down there tonight and pick up just a little, essentially a makeshift wing nut here to make that work, and get another carriage bolt so I could get this mounted. And then, I'm not sure, I've not been able to find in the owner's manual, but this little shaft comes up here and rotates, and I think this is supposed to have a little wheel here basically that keeps the bottom churning, keep anything from blocking your hole. But I didn't get that piece either, so I'm gonna have to do a little research and see if I can find what's supposed to go in here. But there's a little threaded hole here on the sides, so that'll sit there and spin. One last thing here, as for the operation, it's just got a manual handle here that controls your gate. So that when you spin this, it brings your gate in and out. And then it has a little aluminum plate here with the wing nuts, got your settings on it that you can slide this in and out, which allows that gate to open and close the distance that you want it for whatever you're spreading. But the one thing that I do see, this slides very freely. And in my research this afternoon for trying to find what goes in the center of this thing, I read that people do have a problem with this backing out. So I may have to go in here and take this out and put a little bend in it to where I can make that a little bit tighter, so when you do open it, it won't be sitting here chattering back and forth. You got in bumpy ground, it may work its way back closed. But one other piece that they left out, there's supposed to be like a garden hose washer that goes in here, I guess maybe to create some tension, but I didn't get that as well. So they were 0 for 3 on me as far as those 3 pieces. Well, now the moment we've all been waiting for, at least myself. Let's flip this thing on and see if it works. We'll set the speed down here to around 3, and then we'll throw the power to it. Hey, we've got life back here. All right, I'm gonna bump it up and we'll see how fast this thing will turn. Move on pretty good. This thing's supposed to spread 5 to 45 feet. I'd say if you crank it up there high speed, it'll probably throw it pretty close. I never do like a YouTube video that people install something but they don't show it in use, which obviously it's 12 o'clock at night right now and I'm gonna go in here and sow grass seed. But this stuff that I've got inside the shed here is this little chat material, so it's a little bit stone. No, it's probably not meant to spread stone, but I'll set you up back here behind it and we'll see if it'll throw it out or not. Well, I think she's gonna spread. I've got some grass seed to sow, and then I'm gonna spread some fertilizer on the yard, so we'll put it through its paces here in the coming days. I think I'm gonna have to play with that gate a little bit and fine tune it, but I don't think it'll be any big deal. But I do know I'm missing that little turn in the center of it. That way it'll break those clods up, so I'll have to do a little research and see if I can find me one of them. But if you want to put a spreader on the back of your zero-turn mower, or put one on a four-wheeler or a buggy, whatever it may be, this thing seems to work so far. And the install's not bad. I think you'll just have to customize it to fit whatever vehicle you got. But this works pretty good, and I'm just going to leave it on there and see if it gets in the way. But if you watch this one, I appreciate it. And hey, we'll see you later.